again. Back for more. I've got one today I've got to get a review in on like right now because I'm about to do some modifications to it. Oddly enough, it's not a cheap guitar, but I'm going to modify it anyway, and I will explain that later. Let's start out by showing it off here. That is a Charvel Pro-Mod DK24 HH 2PTCM. Great name. That's really memorable. I literally am reading it off of my notes over there because there's no way on earth I'm going to remember that. So real quick, let's go over the story, how I got this thing. A couple of weeks ago, I was down hanging out with my son at his house with my mother and my aunt, who I just moved out to Colorado from Florida. And my mom was insistent upon buying me something to help pay for the cost of moving them out here. I made the mistake of watching a video about this guitar because I saw one hanging in the Guitar Center a mile from his house. And I went back to his house and I was like, all right, I guess it was a really good deal. So I wanted to see if this was a good guitar. And I'd seen reviews on this before and they'd always been good. She saw it and then she snuck out and called the Guitar Center and bought the guitar. I love her, and my aunt ended up going in halfsies with her on it. And I'll tell you in a minute what the cost on this thing was because it was a killer deal. But that's later in the story. So yeah, my mom and my aunt got me this one a couple of weeks ago. I'm a very lucky guy and very glad to have the people around me that I have around me. So they take care of me very well. It is it's a really nice guitar, and it's probably going to be another one of my stage guitars. This is the guitar that I used live a couple of weeks ago. I had my first gig in forever playing guitar, and I took this guy out, and me and the band played a gig in the snow in Manitou Springs in Colorado, and it was an absolute blast. So let's get into this guy. It's a Pro Mod. It's a dinky. It's a little smaller than your regular Strat. No pick guard. Super-strat, of course, because that's my life these days. But yeah, it is nice guitar. Alder body. It's a Fender type thing, you know. Fender owns Charvel, so they're going to do their Strat mods or their super strats with an alder body, which I like very much. Made in Mexico, so it's probably coming out of the same plant that makes all the MIM Fenders. Wouldn't surprise me. It's got a caramelized neck. See, it's called caramelized, which is roasted. It's a roasted neck. Never had one before, and I've been interested in getting one because I've heard that because they're roasted, caramelized, whatever, they have less likelihood of getting fret sprout and neck issues. The finish on the neck is hand-rubbed urethane. Ooh. Between the hand rubbing and the caramelized, it sounds more like something you do to a chicken. Yeah, it sounds more like food than a guitar, but the end product is really nice. So it's a smooth finish on the neck, but it's not a gloss finish. It's not sticky. It's very, very nice and easy to play. It's considered a speed neck. It's kind of thin. It's kind of flat. It's not like a round C or anything. And again, as I always say, it's definitely not like a big fat baseball bat neck. 25.5-inch scale. Pretty standard, again, Fender type stuff. 12-inch to 16-inch radius on the neck, a compound radius, so it gets flatter as you get up higher. The edges of the fretboard are rolled, nice little touch. No sharpness at all. Bolt-on neck, nice little touch here. It's got the sculpted heel, so it's not just a big block here like you get on a standard Strat. The videos I've seen of it, and I don't know how it looks here, it's not as pink as I thought it was going to be. It's called Satin Burgundy Mist, so it's also not a gloss finish. It's a satin finish, and it's somewhere between burgundy and a pink, and that wasn't really a turnoff. It's like, I don't mind pink guitars, obviously. 24 jumbo frets, 24 all the way up here. Again, jumbo frets, just fine. And again, those rolled edges, just so smooth, so comfortable. It's got that funky little thing that Charvel does, which is that truss rod adjustment wheel down at the heel here at the base of the neck. It's better than having to get in here and remove tree strings or a locking nut or anything else. You just, and there you go. easy to make adjustments to, and I appreciate that. All right, let's get into a little hardware. It's a Goto Custom 510 tremolo. Another first for me is, check these guys out. Look at that. Can you see it? Locking tuners. I've never had locking tuners before. Believe it or not, everything hanging around me is just a regular old tuner or a locking nut on it. So my first experience with these, I actually looked up how to string locking tuners. It's different than you would do with a normal tuner. And so far, so good. The strap buttons, as opposed to the Kramer that I previously reviewed, where it said strap buttons, yes. This said strap buttons standard. So they're not locking strap buttons, they're just regular standard buttons, but yes, it has them. Like most Charvels these days, it comes standard with Seymour Duncans. And I love that idea because I don't have to go spend money on new pickups and replace them. It's a full shred TB10 in the bridge and an Alnico 2 Pro in the neck. And this neck pickup is sweet. All that said, I'm about to replace the pickups in it. And I know you're going to think this is crazy. I don't like the white pickups. I don't know why. I don't like the white. It came with white knobs, and I plucked those things off there as soon as I got it home and put these silver knobs on it. Chrome, right? So, as I've said a billion times, how a guitar looks to you matters. You're going to play it different if it looks different to you. Crazy? More than likely. But that's how it is. So, these pickups are just fine. If you don't mind the white pickups, even though it's a full shred, you can absolutely get a classic rock sound out of this. It is a very versatile guitar, and it's all because of this little switch right here. It's got a little series parallel switch, so you can switch the pickups from series to parallel. That would make sense, right? And yeah, it effectively gives you 10 different sounds that you can run through, and they're all good, man. You can do all kinds of stuff with this thing. You can do everything from clean pop to pretty hard rock. So if you're looking for a versatile guitar with a lot of different sounds, that'll do it. And I vacillate, man. I go back and forth on these little switches. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't need all these switches. Just give me a basic guitar that gives me the basic sounds, and that's all I need. And then I get something like this, and I lose my mind because I like the little flippy switch. Okay, so let's get to the price now. And this is not a cheap guitar. If you go to Charvel's site, it is $1,099.99. It's an $1,100 guitar. It's not cheap. This is a mid-range guitar, in my opinion. So for $1,100, you get a really good guitar. This guitar is worth $1,100. However, because it was basically a floor model, and it apparently had been sitting there for a little while, this thing was $700. Worth $700? Absolutely. If you can find one of these for $700, don't pass it up. $1,100, that's going to depend on your budget and what you really want. So yeah, let's do some ratings. Obviously, 5 out of 5 start with. We're going to go. I'm going to start with the little switch here. Versatility +1. Hands down, this is a very versatile guitar. Locking tuners. I've heard good things about this Goto bridge too, so I'm gonna give them a +1 for the gear that's on it, the hardware that's on it. Seymour Duncan pickups +1. Even though I'm gonna take them out, they are standard stock in this thing +1. So that's a 6, 7, 8. You know where this is going. It's going another 9 out of 10. I might as well just rename the channel to Guitar Reviews 9 out of 10. There's also a reason for that. I don't get guitars I don't want or don't think I'll like. So price, I'm not going to give it a +1. $1,100. If this was a $700 guitar normally, if I walked in the store and they said, yeah, brand new at $700, +1. But it's $1,100. Not going to give you guys a +1 for that. It's good. $1,100 is a lot of money. It's a lot of money to separate with. $700 is noticeably less. I mean, seriously, you could buy a $700 guitar and take the rest of the money, $400, and go buy a little lamp, and you have a full jamming set there. So jury's still out on the neck and the caramelized maple. I love the idea. If it works out in the long term, it's a major +1. I'd give it like a half right now, maybe, for the idea. The rolled edges are awesome. So this is somewhere between an 8 out of 10 and a 9 out of 10. In the long run, it could definitely be a 9 out of 10. So yeah, I have got no issues at all with this thing. I'm looking forward to modifying it, looking forward to playing it live. Would I play it tonight? Absolutely. I'd play this tonight as it came from the store, even with the white knobs on it. Even before the modifications, I would absolutely play this out any night. I don't know how much longer they're going to be making this one, so if you really want one of these, pick it up. I'm curious to see what they come out with next, what the successor to this will be. So we'll see. Who knows? I don't have a direct line to Charvel. Speaking of which, I don't get anything for making these videos. I do this because I like doing them, and yeah, I don't have any sponsorships. I don't have any patrons. I don't have any of that stuff. I do this for fun, and I do it so that people will know about the guitars I'm playing and whether or not I think they're good enough for them to play. I honestly think the more resources you have for people reviewing guitars, the better off for you. So yeah, there's a dozen of these reviews already online. Now there's another musician on YouTube, just what the world needs. So, right, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. I appreciate the comments. I really do. Even questions, comments, all that stuff. Those are awesome. Yeah, keep them coming. I'm going to keep making them. So please enjoy. And as usual, keep making music, because that's what all this is about. So. We'll just edit that out. Yeah, I'll get a couple of second shots in. Ooh, another camera. It's alright, that's it. Points. Awesome. One moment, please. Hey, shh, nobody asked you.